Hey everybody, welcome back to Mac Kiteboarding Wing Wednesdays. Today, I'm Tucker, this is Jeff, and Ryan. We're going to talk to you about the new North Mode Wing for 2023. This is a really exciting wing. All three of us were really amped on it, so all three of us had to come and chat with you and give you some perspectives on why this wing is so cool and what are some of the neat features on it that you can look forward to for this coming year. 2023 wing, it's launching now, kind of in early October, late September, and you can get it in early October. The first shipment if you're lucky enough. Otherwise, stick with us and we'll be getting lots of shipments soon. So we've got our leading edge handle here right at the top. It's nice and stiff. Big enough to really grasp it well and control the wing while you're luffing or when you're getting ready to get up on the wing. We got our leash attachment here. We don't have the leash with us today because this is a prototype, but it does have a nice wrist leash that is included with the wing. Coming back here into the strut, you can see it has this XL strut. It is really big, especially where it connects to the leading edge. So that gives you a lot of stiffness and power transfer between the two, and really is a key component to the overall feel and response of the wing. You'll notice we've got two inflation valves here, so it is possible to dual inflate this wing to separate pressures or just to isolate the bladders entirely. So you've got two of these Boston style valves here. No adapter needed for most pumps because it connects right to the hose end. And it dumps out really quickly through both of those, very easy to deflate. We also have a one pump connection on this end. So if you do want to pump it up from a single point, you can do that. If you want to pump it up from separate points, just pinch it closed like it is here. I usually just leave it closed all the time so I don't forget to close it and pump it up at two separate points. Getting into the handles here, you'll notice these from the Nova wing. Basically, it's the same thing. Why change what isn't broke? It's an awesome handle system, really rigid and stiff, very easy to pistol grip on the wave. The connection to the wing is really robust and reliable and solid. No breakages or anything that we've seen, no tear outs or anything like that, but you can remove the handles, replace them, add windsurf style harness lines with a Torx wrench here, or even just pack them down for travel or whatever you need to do. So that makes that really easy. And the long boom style really does give you a lot of real estate to play with. If you want to hold it from the center one-handed, it does that quite well. You know, if you have a wider or more forward, it just gives you a lot of room to play, almost like a boom would without the limitations of that. You notice I got a harness line here. This is not included with the wing. It's just one that I use all the time with a lot of different wings. So you can use a rope style harness line on this, and I just hitch it to the wing. I actually kind of like this because now I can adjust it based on my wind range or where I decide I want to put it. And that's kind of where I've landed, was what works well for the 5.5. For me, that's kind of a nice standard. So kind of right up here by the stanchion, and then, you know, maybe 4 inches forward of the stanchion on the front. Works in a variety of conditions, so that's really nice. Going to the canopy, it's a nice stiff but lightweight canopy. We've got these slit windows that give you a lot of visibility, especially right here when you're going into a jibe, or especially if you're in a racing scenario or a crowded scenario. That gives you some visibility of what might be coming downwind and behind you, which is really what matters if you're going into a jibe. We also got some battens here. They're removable, easily replaceable, but really just killing some of the flutter in the trailing edge, making sure they're flying efficient and smooth. So this is the wing. It might look a lot like the Nova, but there are a lot of improvements on this. It's a much faster wing. It pulls forward a lot harder and really has a much higher top end range. In terms of the leading edge frame material and strut, this is not Dacron. This is a new groundbreaking material developed by North in their R&D through, you know, sailing, windsurfing, all their cool R&D stuff. And they found this is the perfect application for this wing because it is extremely lightweight. It is really, really stiff, kind of like you'd get from Alula or Hokipa, but this is not Alula or Hokipa. It's its own material and does have some notable advantages, which include just some extra durability, easier to work with in terms of build and repairs, and it is very easy to pack down. It's not, you know, real stiff and rigid. When you deflate, it just takes a lot of pressure and holds that pressure, and that tension really does add a lot of stiffness, which is why they can kind of get away with this shape that they have. And the relatively narrow leading edge, you know, this isn't a huge bulbous leading edge for a 5.5 meter. It's plenty stiff with that material, but it does remove a lot of that drag and increase your range quite a bit. So that's kind of the basics of the features and some of those benefits, but I'd like to get Jeff to jump in here real quick and talk about his experience with the wing and, you know, realistically what some of those features did for his ride.
Right on. Hey guys, this is Jeff from MACkite. I'm really excited about this wing. First of all, color. I know color is may not be the most important thing when you're looking at a wing, but I think the white's really cool and clean looking. I obviously get the opportunity to ride a lot of wings, and let me tell you why I love this wing. First of all, when I got on it, it was very gusty conditions, and this wing seemed to have a sweet spot even in the lulls and in the gusts. It just felt very predictable and comfortable. I've said it before, I'm a kind of an intermediate, so that's kind of important. When I got on it, I felt at home and it felt very comfortable. I really like, another standout I like about this wing is their tried and true, very comfortable handles. It's got a little rigid system in it. It just feels really nice in the grips in the hands. Feels very comfortable. Another thing I noticed about this, I kind of spoke to it already, it just has a sweet spot. It has a pretty generous sweet spot, even in the lulls and in the gusts. So I felt that those are something that really stood out that I like about this wing. It has a lot of drive and power, and when it got really gusty, it just stayed very predictable and smooth. It just felt very easy to handle in your turns and the jives that I've been working on. So I'm really stoked. I think they really nailed it here with just a lightweight wing that felt very comfortable to ride. And as Tucker said, it is a wing that can take you as an advanced rider and has a lot of high performance. But for myself, who's an intermediate, I was not intimidated by it, felt very comfortable on the wing. So pretty stoked to get some more sessions on it. And I think it's going to be a really good a seller for us also because of the price point. I think North's done a good job with producing a lightweight material that's going to be at an affordable range, which is important in the market for those that are looking at all the advancements that are being made. So definitely give it a try if you get a chance. I think it's going to be a real good seller for us this year.
Hey guys, Ryan from MACkite here. A couple of my favorite features on the North boat. Obviously you've got the hard boom style handles, just really comfortable, easy to handle, lots of room here, so you don't have to worry about exactly where you're grabbing onto the wing. The harness line, attaching it right onto these hard handles, gives you really a lot of range to dial in exactly where the best point may be for you. I know that changes for some people depending a little bit on their riding style and their weight. This is kind of where we've been riding it, mostly as a shop. Other than that, the wing as a whole, very stiff, rigid material, really easy to pump up on foil. Lightweight, well-balanced wing. It does everything well. Pumps up on foil well, handles those gusts well, rides whiz well. It was a really, really enjoyable wing that will help you take your riding to the next level. One small feature here that I really like that a lot of people may overlook are these windows near the trailing edge. So when you're doing your jives and running downwind, it's just another vantage point to see who's riding downwind of you without having to lift the wing up over your head. So just a small little feature, easy to overlook, that actually made a difference while I was out there riding. Helped me line up some of my jives a little bit better with other people around me without having to waste time bringing the wing overhead. Overall, Really stoked on the new North mode. Very stiff wing, easy to pump up on foil, handles really well and balanced. It's got these large boom style handles on it. Super stoked for this wing for 2023. Definitely worth grabbing one for yourself, trying it out, and seeing what you think.
All right, so I think Jeff and Ryan really nailed a lot of the points here, and I would definitely agree with all of that. Some additional things, and also, you know, I always try to give a negative on any product we're looking at, just to give a full picture of really, you know, why you might not want something. Overall, as a wing, really impressive. You might notice ours says race on it because this is a prototype. Initially, this was developed as a race product. Don't let that scare you away. This is not a very niche, specific race-only product, which is why you see it renamed as the Mode rather than the Nova Race. The Mode has a number of different you know, riding styles or riders that would be good for. It's so versatile that, you know, it's like, why not, you know, bring it to a broader audience? And I would definitely agree with that. After I rode it, my first feedback was, this is a wing for everybody. A brand new rider can get on this, and while they might not appreciate all the features until they hit an intermediate level, it's certainly accessible enough for somebody that's never winged before. But where you're really going to notice a lot of that benefit and performance is intermediate to pro level. Riders that know what they're doing, that are riding powered, wanting the broadest range, the highest performance, that's where this wing comes in. It does cover a huge range, especially high range. I mean, most 5 meters, this is a 5.5. I'm getting off them in the early to mid 20s. I've ridden this to the mid 30s comfortably, so don't be scared to ride these a little bigger than you think. It can hold it. It's still got great low end power and light wind ability, but the high end is insane with how fast this wing is, how fast it slides forward, how stiff the frame is. You can really push the limit high. If there's something I don't like about this wing, and it's really hard to pick something I don't like because this is one of my favorite wings that I've flown so far, it'd be that they're only offering 3 sizes. So they have a 7, a 5.5, and a 4. And while that covers the range for most people, I would say it'd be really nice to have some smaller sizes to really round out the quiver. I mean, me at 200 pounds, I can probably ride the 4 into 50 knots realistically. But there are lighter riders out there. There are people that don't want to ride so lit all the time. So I really wish they would have filled in the bottom end of that range a bit to really allow for a bit more quiver friendly sizing, I guess, especially for lighter weight riders or those people not riding really powered. In terms of the performance, you know, we hear us say high performance and stuff like that. What we mean by that with this wing is that you can really ride it powered comfortably. It doesn't feel out of control. It doesn't feel like you need to get off it. You can really push the limit on the high end. It is very, very, very good into the wind, upwind. It slides forward. It doesn't want to pull you straight downwind, and it really generates a lot of apparent wind off board speed. So you can amplify that power and amplify your board speed, allowing you to ride faster, harder upwind, and excuse me, even just broadening your range. It's pretty phenomenal when you hop on this wing back to back with something else and you feel some of those advantages. So yeah, that's kind of the long and the short of it. On the actual, you know, design of the wing, how it is, you know, it's really hard to nitpick at anything because this is really a phenomenal wing. They've done a great job. Daniel and their team at North really hit it out of the park this year. And as Jeff said, the price point is incredibly competitive. It's priced, I would say, more mid-tier. You know, you could compare this realistically with a lot of Dacron wings in their pricing, and it is that next level material that oftentimes you're paying over $2,000 to achieve, or even more. So if you're after that next level performance, don't have a ton of money to spend, you know, especially if you need to buy, you know, 2 or 3 wings. Realistically, you can get 3 of these for the price of 2 from some other high-end wings. So really give it a good consideration. If you have any questions at all, reach out to us at the shop. As you can tell, all of us have ridden it, been really stoked on it. And yeah, just can't wait to get you guys out on these, get more available so that we can show you guys how phenomenal this wing is and hear that positive feedback. Thanks for joining us for another Wing Wednesday. We hope to catch you next week. Don't forget to share with a friend, give us a like, jump in the comments section if you've ridden one or have questions. Go ahead and hit us there. You can always pick up the phone or email or live chat as well. And we'll see you next time.
It's been Jeff at MACkite.
Ryan at MACkite. And Tucker at MACkite. Thanks, guys. Backwind. We're backwinding.
Oh, yeah.
Backwinded.
360. Behind the back.